Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Mind podcast. I am joined today by my co-host Lucas Oldale.
Wow, that's crazy.
How's
Is
Lucas
that my
Oldale
name?
doing today? I don't know. Haven't checked your birth certificate, to be quite honest with you. That's not true. No, I've had your passport in my hand many times. Your name is indeed legally Lucas Oldale. I have confirmation. Of
Okay, it's good to know.
Yes, my name is legally Landon Caitler. So super happy to be here.
Middle name reveal?
Real name reveal?
Middle name.
Oh,
Oh.
Lee. That's my middle name.
Owen.
Owen.
But spelled with an E.
Yeah, it's kind of whack. We
E-O-I-N.
gotta hate on Lucas for
Yeah.
that one.
Because if you spell it regularly, my initials are Lou. So, like the English word for a toilet.
Hell yeah. So fire.
Real.
Today, we're talking about Team Rocket's cards. A whole bunch of them. It's a pretty strong engine's been revealed. There's some decently powerful Pokemon. I think that's kind of maybe the lacking part of this. I was just having a quick look again through all the supporters, and there's a lot of good
There's
support.
a lot of really good
But
supporters.
there's not a whole lot of super great Pokemon, so we'll kind of have to delve into this a little deeper. But we have a whole bunch of them. And that's all we're talking about today, because there's a whole bunch. They're super cool. Everyone seems to like Team Rockets.
Can you mention something about Atlanta real quick?
Can we?
W. Sebastian Lashman.
Oh, he did get top 8. We're recording this on the Sunday
Yeah.
of Atlanta Regionals. We will not be covering Atlanta Regionals this episode because it hasn't finished yet.
We most likely will not be doing it. Would we be doing it next week? Like 2
Next
weeks from now?
podcast? Probably. It's probably relevant still.
Maybe.
But
I don't know,
for
we'll see.
now, we're talking about the glory of Team Rocket. There's quite a bit of bulk in here, but we're just going to go through all the cards that have been revealed, kind of give just our first impressions on them. No like official ratings or anything, just kind of like how we feel.
We have to
looking at
rate
them
every
first
single
time.
card.
No tier listing or any of that fun stuff. We're just gonna
Pineco, 1 out of
scroll
10.
through. Nah, we got Pineco here. We'll just start it off. We got Pineco, which evolves into a fortress that
Is a
isn't.
metal type, probably.
Oh, okay, we'll get to that later. But pretty irrelevant. Basic. Got 7 HP, 1 retreat. Shroomish, sorry, 60 HP, 1 retreat.
Not bad.
Kind of my evolving basics. If they have an attack that does 30 damage for 1 energy, that's a great evolving basic. If they have 7 HP, that's probably pretty good evolving basic. If they have 1 retreat, there's like only one I can think of, Charcadet, that is like the optimal evolving basic.
Charmander.
But it does
has
damage to
60,
itself, and
yeah.
it has 60 HP. Like Charcadet is the only 70 HP 1 retreat pre-evolution, so that is relevant that I know of. So if you're looking for a good pre-evo, neither of these are that fantastic. Although 71 retreat is pretty good. Unless 2 retreat, it says on the card. The text is lying. Breloom.
Where?
The text here says retreat 1.
Real.
The Pineco has 2 retreat.
Pineco sucks.
Real.
Okay.
Breloom.
This
Completely
card
terrible.
seems really terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of a lot of luck. Yeah, not very good.
I like this Mo Rotom. Lucas was hating on me. 30 multiplier on tool drops never been seen before, to my knowledge. It's always been a 20 multiplier. I don't believe
It
so.
was 30.
No, it was 20, I
It
swear.
was 30.
Was it? If it was
Yeah.
30, then this card's irrelevant. But I was quite convinced there's only 20 multipliers in terms
No,
of.
there's definitely
tool
been
drops.
30.
But
I also just don't think this card would be good anyway. I mean, it being a grass
I don't think
type's
it's good
kinda
either. I just thought it was like the first one we'd ever seen that was 30 multiplier. But
Real.
Fomantis, Lurantis.
I love Florantis and
I mean,
Fomantis.
I think we've seen this like exact attack before, and it's been terrible. On paper, this doesn't look terrible. 1 grass, 130, discard 2 energy.
I mean, it's kind
Man.
of good, but it's just not really worth it, especially since you're stage 1 that's not even knocking out
First, Team Rocket's Pokemons. We got Team Rocket's Blipbug.
Charizard. Oh,
I
gas
forgot.
card.
What is it? Blipbug?
Orbeetle.
Oh.
There is a Team Rocket's Orbeetle.
Okay.
Okay, so irrelevant. We don't have to mention every
No,
card.
Tarantula.
Oh,
30 10 to
Tarantula.
itself, pretty decent evolving basic.
Okay, wait. Actually, that's pretty good. That does kill Budu, and it's a 1 retreater.
Yeah.
But 50 HP kind of sucks.
is.
Spidops. So this card's the first, like,
I
relevant
want to say all of your Team Rocket's Pokemon have to evolve from Team Rocket. So Team Rocket Spidops has to evolve from Team Rocket's Tarantula. You can't play a random Tarantula. You have to play the specific Team
I mean,
Rocket's
you
one.
could, but you would just be cheating.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so Spidops is the first relevant one. Its ability is once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon, and its attack is 30 damage for each of your Team Rocket's Pokemon in play. So, obviously, if you have 6 Team Rocket's Pokemon in play, you can KO a Charizard. And then the ability works with the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX that's coming up later. It's also not very bad in, like, energy switch versions of Team Rocket. It's just a good value card, especially if Charizard's going to be good in the meta, but I doubt that you ever really want to have a full bench of Team Rockets because you most likely want Fez.
Yeah. I have a comparison to this card. We have Naganadel with the charging up ability that was very relevant in like Blacephalon. There was some like Naganadel Dex, I guess, but
Quag.
yeah, there was Nagquag. There was some random like enablers. It's kind of nice to just have like stage 1 with decent acceleration. This, like Lucas is saying, good with E-Switch, maybe like something like Poppy. I think the problem with the attack though, you're probably never playing Grass Energy in your Rockets deck.
Yeah.
And the double energy that we'll see later for rockets does
It's
not
only for
provide
psychic
grass.
and dark,
If
yeah.
that was like a rainbow, this attack would be like legitimately
Really
like
good. Yeah.
not really good, but it would be a very serviceable option. I just don't think it's really gonna be
You
a
would
part
be
of this
using
card.
it like most games.
You're probably just playing this for charge up, and like maybe you have like a luminous or something. I don't know. Maybe you play grass because you can like recycle
Still
it
charge
infinitely. But we'll see.
Yeah,
I think
don't even
this
hate
card.
it. You
it-
may attach a basic.
It may be
You
the
may
way
attach a
we
basic
play.
Energy. You can't attach luminous.
Oh, I was talking about like playing luminous to attach for turn, not like get it back.
Okay, well you would play grass. Probably.
Yeah.
Would you play grass? Probably.
Yeah.
No, wait, Team Rocket Spide Ops, the deck doesn't even seem that bad. Like 180, 180, 180, 180.
That seems pretty bad.
No, you can just play like a Terra Pokemon and then.
You're just gonna get schlacked by.
No, you don't even need to.
I
Like,
guess.
You can just play like all the baby Rocket Pokemon that you can find off Poffin, and then you just play like Cornerstone, Area Zero.
If there was a Rocket Terra, maybe.
No. Is there a Rocket Terra? No, there isn't. I don't think there is.
Not that we've
But no,
seen
you
yet.
can just bench Cornerstone, or you can bench like something else. If
Then
you
you're literally capping at like 240.
No, but you would also want Fez, so you're doing 210. So 210 every turn on a one prize is really good, especially when you only need one energy attachment. It's the same thing as the
Maybe.
Lurantis above.
I don't think that's working in a Dragon Ball format, but maybe.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, probably.
Or believe
the
that EX
basic-
evolves from 60 HP 1
Yeah,
retreat.
60 HP, 1 retreat, 10 damage, not very good.
Not very good stage
Not
one.
very good stage
The,
one.
the other thing, like state basics are
What makes
usually
a good stage 1?
a good stage one has an ability, like Dracloak. Dragapult itself, the EX, very strong. It probably would see play, but it would not be the BDIF without Dracloak. Dracloak makes Dragapult into a broken card from a very strong card. If something like Arboliva was like a pretty mid-stage 2, but it had a really good stage 1, like a Refinement or like Airmail effect. I don't know what other like draw effects you could put. I guess there's like Dunsparce, or like maybe if your stage 1 had like a draw until they had 5, like Bibarel or something. It makes
That
the
would be
like
broken as an evolving.
put
Pokemon.
like
But I think something like Refinement or Recon Directive are the most realistic ones that you can.
and
put on
that's
stage
how
one.
Pokemon can make these like weaker stage 2s. I really dislike how Pokemon has made things like Guardy and Dragapult be the ones with the good evolving basics, because you made like Guardy, we know, is already seeing large amounts of play post rotation without Curlia, because
Yeah.
Guardy EX is a broken card.
It's just an insane card. One of the best accelerators we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I just really wish they would give like maybe something like Arboliva, or we haven't even got to the card yet. It would be bad with even if it had a stage 1 EX or stage 1.
Dude, like this card is really terrible.
But my point is, I wish they would experiment with giving these stage 1s with very good abilities to less good Pokemon to make the less good Pokemon more powerful. Because if Dragapult had to exist without Dracloak, the deck would be completely different. Maybe we give a different stage 2 EX that Dracloak ability instead, because it's not like tied to Dracloak. They just gave Dracloak that ability because it was what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's my little tangent. I wish that stage 1's got more love and spread the love to less playable evolving Pokemon.
Arboliva EX. This card's not very great.
Oil Machine Gun, America! Freedom! Arboliva is the freedom Pokemon. We got the Oil Machine Gun attack
Choose
here.
one of your opponent's Pokemon 6 times and do 20 damage to it. What?
So you can
Okay,
you
you
have
can-
120, but you get to pick a Pokemon 6 times. So you can
Okay.
pick the same Pokemon 6 times. You can pick 2 Pokemon 3 times.
Can you pick up the same one? You okay?
Yeah, you
Okay,
can pick
sorry,
do 20 to all your Pokemon.
No,
or you
I
could
thought
do,
that that's what the card did. I just
I see.
read it and was like, what is this saying? But yeah, no, it is 20 damage. Yeah, basically 120 to anything on your opponent's board in any way you like.
So like you can kind of think of this as like Sableye Lost Mine attack with a less like modular capability. If this just said 1 grass spread 12 counters, it would be less of a unique effect because we haven't seen the specific text before, but it would be a lot better. This is also stopped by the new Shaman card that'll be out by the time this is legal.
Real.
Also though, have we ever seen a Pokemon with 4 olives just like sticking out of the art? That's pretty lit.
That's pretty
If you're an
cool.
olive lover, my girlfriend loves olives. This is like, she actually loves Smoliv and
Smoliv.
Olive. She's like, I've given her a couple like random Smolives that I've pulled from packs, and she's like, oh, this guy's so cute. It's olives. This is like the most olives
You know
I've
what
ever
you should
seen.
do for her?
This is the record amount of olives we've seen in a Pokemon
You know
art.
what you should do for her? You should there's people that like color in cards. So you should take a Smoliv to one of them.
No. I should just get this EX and cut all the olives out and just give her the pieces of olive paper.
No, but I think that'd be a good idea. Like you could draw the Smoliv in like this
You
Smoliv
have to,
above.
you have to
Go
click
up
on the
to
image
Smoliv.
to get rid of the image.
Go to Smoliv. Like it's literally in a garden. Like you can just like full paint it.
I think that's a real photo with clay.
No, it is. Yeah, it is. Like
That's sick.
you should get that.
I love the clay arts.
Like you can totally get that illustrated by someone whose like job it is to
Real.
draw full pictures on cards.
Long-winded, Arboliva EX sucks, but 4 olives in the artwork, huge olives, by the way.
That's super
They
sick.
love crushing olives, Lucas. We got the Arcanine line.
This card's really bad.
Yep, if one's active as a dark, it is 200. Never gonna see play.
Clean.
First,
this card's kind of
Rockets
fun.
EX.
I like this guy. So Moltres EX, Team Rocket's Moltres. For a fire colorless, you do 110, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 50 less damage from attacks.
Yeah.
Maybe the best attack we've ever seen.
The best.
And then,
Okay.
no, that attack's not really that good. But fire, colorless. Discard a Team Rocket's energy from this Pokemon. If you do, discard your opponent's active Pokemon and all attached cards. So what you can do is you can play this with the Spidops plus the E-Switch. Is there a Pokemon right now that has the E-Switch on an ability?
Blissey EX.
Blissey. Like, you could just play a Blissey in there, and then you can attach the Team Rocket's energy, E-Switch, plus, like, Mela or something. Get this going. Like, your entire deck can just be, like, this comeback deck. You go Stamp, you put a Pidgeot in play, you know, stuff like that. It's kind of convoluted, so it might not be the best, but it's kind of fun. And it can be used in, like, tech decks, and you can go, like, Iona to low, discard their active Pokemon, counter catcher, whatever the most important thing is, discard that Pokemon. Like, I think it's actually not that bad.
I think the problem I see with this is they worded this correctly and said it has to discard Team Rocket's energy. If this was discard A energy,
it says Team Rocket's energy?
you have to discard the special energy.
Oh,
so you're going to
never
cap
mind.
it using
This
this
card's really
effect
bad.
4
This
times.
card's really bad.
I think regardless of that, I think this card isn't very good anyways. Like, 4 energy, I would expect to, like, be doing a meaningful amount of damage. I would rather just knock them out most of the time.
Sorry,
I mean,
I misread.
No, that's fine.
I misread the card.
I think most of the time just one-shotting them is going to be better. The first attack is, like, pretty terrible.
Wait, we have the ideal basic Pokemon down there.
Not ideal, it only has 20, but it does fire kill buddy. Anyways, I think this Team Rockets is just like this EX is just kind of mid. I think maybe it's like a one of in a Team Rockets deck if you have a way to power it up in one turn. Like if you're playing like 4 E-Switch, maybe I don't think like the deck would play Blissey over E-Switch.
It would
in terms of like Mewtwo at least. But
yeah, and if you're playing like there is that one supporter where it's like if a Team Rocket's Pokemon was knocked out, you can put them down.
Yeah, and you also do have to play Fire Energy because the double energy does not provide fire. It's Dark Psychic. So
ideal basic Pokemon down here.
True. We were just talking about this. Yeah.
It's ideal. It's 70 HP, 1 retreat, and it kills Buddy because it does 20 damage and Buddy's weak to fire.
This is exactly Charcadet. And that's true, actually. Charcadet doesn't do 30 damage. It does 20, and it's times 2 for 40, so I lied earlier. It doesn't do 30
He's
damage.
a liar.
It does 40 damage to the relevant.
Don't watch our podcast. Click off right now. He's a liar.
Real. The evolution of this is
sucks.
horrible, though.
This card is really bad, and you need to play an actual fire energy because Team Rocket's energy doesn't supply that one.
Real. We got Torchic and Combusken. We also have the context. This is probably the best Torchic for the Blaziken EX deck as well. 1 colorless draw card, 70 HP, 1 retreat.
What's the other Torchic do?
20
damage?
I'm not sure. If it's 20 damage, I'm not sure what the other Torchic does. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, and then this Team Rocket's Houndoom, just for anyone wondering. 1 fire energy, your opponent's active Pokemon's not burned or confused, and then for fire colors, it's 120. You discard an energy from the Pokemon, so it's not good at all.
Blaziken's from Journey Together.
Yeah, it is. Man, they really love Blaziken right now.
No, Torchic from Journey Together is 60 HP, 2 for 30, 1 retreat. So this is a better Torchic.
Yeah, very good Torchic.
Mid Combusken. See, Blaziken EX, perfect example of a card that should have got a better stage 1 than Dragapult. If Blaziken EX had Refinement or like Airmail, that card would be sick.
That card would be very good.
Yeah.
And you can like Refinement away your energies and then evolve into Blaziken.
Yeah. But we don't have that. We have Gardevoir EX that has to have Refinement instead.
Real. It doesn't have it anymore though, which I think is good. And I think this format's a good representation of like what the power should be. Like Dreadcloak's on the wrong Pokemon, but like Kirlia is so bad, man. The psychic attack is like somewhat usable.
Oh yeah, just like Gardevoir had to go from like being the broken stage 1. No, you need to play like a normal stage 2 deck. It's crazy. You don't get to just play Kirlia. You have to play Candies and be normal.
No way.
Just play like
I'm
Ralts,
so hard done by.
And then like play 1 Kirlia because you can't just Candy all the time. This Blaziken, if it ever sees play, will only be with the EX.
Yeah, with the EX, I mean, okay, so this Blaziken, 2 colors, 70 damage, and then fire colors, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, it does 120 to one of your opponent's bench. It's also 120, so it does 120 and 120, which is pretty good. It will most likely see play in like a Blaziken EX deck if that is a thing. I remember, did you see that Twitter pile that played the Greninja EX? Yeah, it does 120, and then 120.
Does Blaziken have different like sprites per like gender?
Oh, what'd I do?
I think you just like scrolled down or up or something.
How did I even go
I don't know.
far?
Because I'm just like, look at Blaziken's ears. Why are they like, that's not normal, right?
This might be Mega Blaziken.
No, I know Mega Blaziken. I swear, I gotta look this up too.
Oh
Blaziken.
my god. This is the phone pod. What? Does Blaziken
maybe it's just
sprites?
No,
it's just ears.
Yeah, the ears go really far back. Normally they're pointed down, and the way that Blaziken's head is oriented, they're like upwards. So it looked different to me. But
no, it's just when he's attacking, his ears go up.
Oh, do they?
Probably. I mean, that would make your ears don't just shoot up when you look down.
Well, if they're pointed straight back almost, and you look down like this.
But that's not what they're doing. They're not like going backwards.
I
They're
know,
sticking
man.
up.
Anyways, wait, the Rotom's a
Oh,
cycle? We can
oh.
be hitting for weaknesses with our tool.
Oh,
That's
no,
it.
wait, I can hit my opponent's
I'm building a gadget show
I
deck
can
for
hit
League.
my opponent's Team Rocket Spidops for weakness?
So hear me out, guys. If you're not playing Megaton Blower, there's no vacuum. You can't get rid of tools anymore. So if I got my Revavroom EX out here with 4 rigid bands,
Oh,
that thing's never
this thing
done.
is not dying, and my
My 4 tools are safe.
my Heat Rotom is going crazy.
It's one-shotting Ogerpons.
I love
And
one.
Arbelieve EX, those olives are getting roasted. Roasted olives.
Real.
Team Rocket's Articuno.
But none of the tool drop decks don't really work. Team Rocket's Articuno is so good. Prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks done to your basic Team Rocket's Pokemon.
Oh, I didn't know this card. I haven't seen this one.
So it prevents
Maybe this is-
Dragapult. Like your basics are good. Like bro, in that Spidops deck I was talking about, you can just play that Articuno.
Okay, I didn't know this existed.
I forgot that it existed also.
I haven't seen this.
No, I've seen it, but I forgot. Team Rocket's Articuno, you can play that in the Spidops deck, and then you can like literally swing for 210 every turn. That's pretty good.
Maybe.
That's pretty good.
Dark Frost is
Maybe
also
the best.
serviceable
Maybe the
deck.
best deck ever, actually.
Wow. 120, it does water colorless. If it has a Team Rocket attack, it does 60 more. So,
But you need to play an actual water energy.
which I this attack is a reasonable enough rate. Like 2 attachments for 120 on a basic Pokemon. Not a relevant weakness.
With a gas ability.
Yeah, it's like this attack is serviceable. I could see you playing like 1 water energy in your like Earthen Vessel Rockets deck if you want to have the option. Like
Yeah,
this
you
would be a good
totally
Mimikyu answer. It kills Mimikyu through Bravery Trial.
does that too.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know if like every one of these is even playing Spidops because like
Yeah, no.
it seems pretty reasonable to build an all basic Rockets deck. If the consistency
This line's insane. I was reading this. Okay, Clamperl, 60 HP, 2 retreat cost, 10 damage. Really bad. But it walls Buddy completely because you take 10 less damage on the next turn.
Oh, broken.
Broken. Okay, so Huntail. Stage 1, 110 HP, 1 retreat cost, 1 water, 2 colors, 80 damage. The ability. Whenever one of your water Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you may put all basic water energy attached to that Pokemon into your hand instead of the discard pile. So, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, decks that are playing Hydro Pump are now, can play a Huntail if they need to. But that's not really the main use of it. Gorbis. 30 damage. This attack does 30 damage to each water energy attached to Pokemon. Before doing damage, you may attach any number of basic water energy from your hand to this
Yeah,
Pokemon.
that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't think this doesn't seem like super good, but
It seems pretty good. Like, you can just, put a bunch of water energies into your hand, and then you
think
swing
about-
for 270, and then when this dies, you return all your water energies to your hand, you Clamperl, attach, swing for 270.
I guess you're like pretty Iono proof, but like first you're just making it seem super trivial to get 7 waters in your hand.
Well, yeah, you can do that, though.
It's not like regular Rain Dance where you can
Attach them progressively throughout the
Yeah,
game.
you can't like have a research in your hand, attach 2 waters, research, draw vessel.
I mean, you could play
vessel,
backs
vessel.
if you want, but it's not very good.
No, it's just like I don't think this is enough.
But what I do think could happen is you could play this with Fez and Pidgeot and just literally every good search card ever, and then just play building hand cards. So instead of research, you play Arvin, you play Lady, the one that searches your deck for 4 water energies or 4 energies, and then you go Vessel, and then when you swing, it's just 270, and then you Pidgeot for the next piece, and then you Fez, stuff like that. I think that could actually be pretty good.
I think it might be like a deck you play at League. I don't think we're seeing Huntail Gorbis in top 8 of a regional anytime soon.
I mean, I think we could. Maybe.
Well, we'll
Probably
come
not.
back to
Probably
this
not.
clip in
Actually,
like
no.
a year,
Actually, no.
2
No.
years.
Maybe not.
When this card rotates, I want to see Lucas talk about how many top 8s he's gotten with Gorbis Huntail.
Dude, I'm gonna play Gorbis Huntail so much. I'm gonna play that
Snowbird,
for the Anaheim
Abomasnow.
World Championship.
Both irrelevant. 9
Okay.
HP basic.
Is Psyduck in this set? Psyduck?
It's. I have a separate page for Psyduck. Yeah.
Psyduck is maybe the best.
There's a water. There's a water Rotom with Tool
Oh
Drop.
my god, we can kill
We're cooking,
Team Rocket's
dude. We got
Voltrace EX.
3 weaknesses.
No way. I'm assuming there's also a lightning one,
Oh, that'd be nice.
and a psychic one, and a dark one.
There's no
There's
psychic.
definitely a dark Rotom.
There is no dark Rotom.
No, psychic Rotom could just.
There is no psychic Rotom.
It would be the ghost one. It'd be the regular base
I
one.
guess that's true, but there's no psychic. Wait, where are you going?
Go.
Stop scrolling up to this.
No, Abomasnow.
It's not relevant.
Water,
It's terrible.
colorless, 120. This one has 2 more.
Lucas is
grass
wasting your
energy.
time with
Yeah,
this
that's
card.
bad. That's really bad. Reversal energy on it, 240.
Lucas
Oh
is
my
wasting your
God.
time with this card.
Okay, so there's a water wash Rotom with the tool drop thing. It's kind of funny. This card is ideal.
Another
70
ideal basic.
70 HP, 30 damage. It does 10 to itself, and then 1.
So worth killing Buddy though.
So good.
Barraskewda is it able to back
Barraskewda
it
is now
up?
the best card in the set.
Oh,
Water. Oh,
never mind.
never mind. Really bad. Sotodle.
Lucas's favorite.
My favorite Pokemon.
I can't believe this is your act. I mean, fair enough, but I can't believe that's your favorite Pokemon. Like, of
Your
all
favorite
time.
Pokemon's Sableye.
But Sable's like an OG though.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
He came out in like Gen 4.
yeah, that's OG.
That's not OG.
You weren't even barely born yet, man.
But when did Gen 4 come out? Look it up. When did Gen 4 come out?
2009 or maybe it's 2008.
Yeah, so I was so born.
I said I didn't say you weren't
I
born.
was
I
so-
said barely even born.
I was so born. I was so born to Norn.
I'm not gentle slap. Can't be Poffin, but it's got 2 water to kill, buddy.
Oh, 100 HP.
So next up,
retreat.
guys, we got Primal Groudon EX here.
Yes, it's
I mean, it's a Titan EX.
So its abilities: whenever your opponent plays an item or support card from the hand, prevent all effects of that card done to this Pokemon. Pretty good. I've seen some ideas going around with this in Arbok, which doesn't seem too bad.
Hell no, man, that's terrible. Literally, just start Klefki or something. Why are you trying to start Arbok?
No, because Arbok is the one that like prevents evolutions.
For instance, playing Pokemon with abilities.
No,
That's what it does.
I thought it was evolving.
No, it's literally, you know Chimeco's attack?
We're checking right now. We're checking right now. If this Pokemon's in the active spot, your opponent can't play. Oh, okay. I was wrong.
I know what I'm talking about. So Titan EX, otherwise known as Primal Groudon. I just want to preface this. There was a card called Primal Groudon EX. It was a Mega Pokemon, so when you evolved it at the end of your turn, it had 240 HP. It had Fighting Colorless. It was 100 plus 100 with the same attack text. And it didn't have the ability, it only had 1 attack, but it had the Primal Trait Barrier, where it stopped your opponent's trainers from affecting it. So they couldn't boss it, they couldn't catch it. This effectively has that ability, or that trait in its ability, and it effectively has a power cap version of that attack and 60 more HP. This is quite literally a Primal Groudon clone, and I'm not hearing anything else from anybody.
I mean, I like Primal Groudon.
That deck was really
when
good.
we were playing Retro, it was a lot of fun.
Primal Groudon was, like, really broken, actually. I think that was like one of the most underrated decks of its time, mostly because Tropical Beach was like hundreds of dollars and it was just genuinely cost prohibitive. It wasn't even the cost either. Like, you had to find beaches, which was generally hard. Like, you had to find someone willing to sell.
It was actually crazy that they were printing like Tropical Beach as a world exclusive card.
Beach is a broken card, but I don't know if this is going to see play, mostly because I don't think like
there is as much like reason to play a bench barrier thing now.
Yeah, like
not bench barrier, like a thing that just sits on the bench and can't be gusted. And there was also a Regirock. I don't know if any of you guys were playing. That card was really good.
True.
There was a Regirock that had the same trait as Groudon, but it was a basic and it was just terrible stats, but it had that ability.
Yeah.
So what you did is you played like Substitute, which was like Lily's Pokédoll or Snorlax doll. It was like Snorlax doll, but it had 30 HP and you could play it at any time. And then you would play the Regirock that can't be gusted, and you would just basically just wall them with like those Pokédolls. It was pretty good, but that card was like a basic that couldn't be gusted.
This effectively in this format is an ancient trait because there is no ability lock, there's no path or anything. But the problem
they're gonna print garbage.
Yeah, as soon as they print a way to turn this off, this card gets instantly unplayable. Like a relevant way to turn off abilities. The thing with Groudon is there was absolutely zero way to interact with ancient traits. So Groudon was genuinely untouchable on the bench. This currently is genuinely untouchable, but the other problem is
there is some stuff that turns it off, right? There has to be something.
There's zero way to affect ancient traits. There is not a single card.
Iron Thorns.
I'm talking about, what are you talking, ancient traits?
I know, we were talking about Titan.
Oh, I'm talking about relevant.
Iron Thorns.
Relevant ways to turn this off. This isn't weak to lightning either, so they would like boss it up and just retreat. The thing with Groudon is it was like the tankiest Pokemon possible. It had 240 HP, like most other Megas had 220.
And you would play like a tool that made it take 20 less.
Yeah, or Focus Sash, so it literally could not be one shot because there was no way to remove the tool because you can't blower it or like Lost Vacuum or whatever.
That's so gas.
Yeah, Groudon was really, really broken. I don't think this is going to be the same because the power creep on it hasn't like extended.
Enough, yeah.
In roughly 10 years of time, we've gained 60 HP and 80 damage, which is not good.
Not bad.
Like Dragapult, this doesn't KO. Dragapult, this doesn't KO.
With Maximum Belt, it does. Whoa.
Like Groudon, it didn't get one-shot anything. It could one-shot everything. This can't one-shot basically anything that's relevant, and it doesn't tank.
Why are we talking about the Titan so much?
Because I think it's sick. When I saw
It's
this
a cool
card,
card.
I was so excited.
And then you were like, damn, bad card.
Yeah.
Team Rocket
Anyways,
Zapdos.
I love Groudon. Lucas is rushing me. I don't care. Titan sucks. Groudon's the GOAT.
I am rushing him because I don't think y'all want to hear about Titan.
Yeah, we do. What else are we going to talk about? Freaking Zapdos? This card's terrible.
Welcome to the Titan Mind podcast.
Lucas is literally hating him talking about his favorite Pokemon, and he's rushing.
I do actually
I'm
like
kicking him off the podcast. Get out of here. This Zapdos is terrible. It has the same attack as the Articuno, but not a gas ability. And its first attack is not relevant.
I'm back. Yeah, this card's
I'm rushing you. Team Rocket's Marie.
Search your deck for an item card revealed, put it in
That's
your
a sick
hand.
attack.
That's not a bad basic. That's not a bad basic.
Has 60 HP though. Gets farmed by
The
Phantom
Titan's
Dive.
also not my favorite Pokemon.
I'm rushing you past the Titan. Don't talk about the Titan anymore.
So Titan's a Titan's a
Team
Titan.
Rocket's Flaffy.
Flip a coin if heads your opponent's that hole. Broken.
Team Rocket's Ampharos.
Whenever your opponent plays a Pokemon from the hand, evolve one of their Pokemon during their turn. Put 4 damage counters on that Pokemon. The effective Darkest Impulse is not.
Has there ever been a good Ampharos card? I want someone to tell me because I have seen so
There was
many.
Dark Ampharos, right? Wasn't Dark Ampharos kind of okay?
Maybe it was. I don't know. My point with Ampharos is there's always these terrible abilities that are just this passive, like, oh, when they do this thing, they take like this little bit of damage, like 20 damage when they touch an energy or like evolve or whatever. I feel like there's just probably like 4 or 5 different Ampharos cards that roughly do the same thing, and they're never good. This is not going to be good because you have to have a stage 2 in Pokemon in play before they are evolving. So in theory,
Yeah, you have to first and not get buttered.
yeah. So it just doesn't work.
Yeah, bad card. Team
Cards
Rocket's Drowsy.
80 HP.
It's not bad. 80
Yeah,
HP,
Poffin.
10 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon's now asleep.
That's
which is
pretty
really
good attack.
That's a pretty good attack on a basic.
I want a lot of games off of NK's attack. Hypnosis.
Oh my god, like that from Ultra Prism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
That's like during the Malamar Tina thing, right? Okay, bench manipulation. 80 damage. Your opponent flips a coin for each of their bench Pokemon. This attack is 80 damage for each Tails.
You make your opponent flip the coin? That's kind of
Yeah.
funny, I guess.
For each of their bench Pokemon. This attack. So if they have 8 bench Pokemon, you're on average doing 320.
We got the reversal. And this is
This
the big
card.
card. This is the card.
This Pokemon can't attack unless you have 4 or more Team Rocket
Okay, wait,
Pokemon.
let's perfect. This has 280 HP and it's a basic, by the way.
That's really
Continue.
good. Yeah, that's insane. That's as much as Pidgeot.
Actually, Enzork EX better than Pidgeot. I
I
like.
Pidgeot's more meta relevant.
My favorite deck right now is Zoroark.
Zoroark is pretty fun. I like Frostlass Monkey Dory.
Deletion Sphere.
You may discard up to 2 energy from your bench Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage for each energy card discarded this way. So you're one-shotting Pidgeot. You have a really good support mon in Spidops. And you have 280 HP. And you're swinging for a bunch of damage. But the only thing is, you have to play Mewtwo EX. You have to play this like Team Rocket. Like all of your board has to be Team Rocket's Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't think this deck's very good, honestly. I don't think that if this is the payoff Pokemon, it's unfortunate because all this, like looking at the supporters and the item support, this deck looks crazy. But like this is the best Pokemon you can play.
I honestly think a Spidops deck might be really good. The more I'm thinking about it, you can just Articuno. You can Fest plus Cornerstone. That seems pretty good.
We'll see it. I don't believe it, but maybe you gotta prove me wrong.
You're
Prove
a
me wrong.
hater.
I'm
You're
a
a
hater.
hater.
I'm a hater.
know.
Like you have to have the energy come from your bench. You can't discard from yourself. Keep in mind you can just discard the Rocket's energy, but presumably you attach the Rocket energy for turn
Yeah,
to your
and
Mewtwo.
you're like Spidops. So you have to Spidops, so that's kind of weird. You
yeah.
can discard the energies somehow at the beginning.
I mean,
Like,
I could see this maybe being like
playable. It doesn't seem bad. Like, it seems kind of good.
I just don't think this is anywhere near like S tier. Also, keep in mind you can one shot Dragon
I
Pulse
could
if you play
see
Clefairy.
it. I could see it. Like, you can play Clefairy. You're one-shotting Pult. Your item support is so broken.
You only if you're not playing like Skyfield, then your last bench slot can basically only be Fez. Like you have to pick between like Fez
No,
or
4
Clefairy.
more Team Rocket Pokemon in place. You can have Mewtwo counts as 1.
Oh, okay, never mind. You can have 2.
So you can have Clefairy Fez.
I was thinking of like 4 on your bench, but that's fair. So I guess you can have 2.
Is there a draw
Flex
Rocket
spots?
Pokemon? Is there a Rocket Pokemon
Not that I've seen.
draws?
I guess we'll find out. But I don't think that there's really like enough of an
This
onboard
card's
engine.
really good. Like this card, Team Rocket's Wobbuffet actually is really good. Move all damage counters from one of your bench Team Rocket's Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. So going back to this Mewtwo, you can take a hit with the Mewtwo, and then you can Wobbuffet all of that damage off. They have to deal with that one prizer, or they have to gust it.
Yeah, I don't think this deck is bad. I don't think it's gonna be like tier 1. I think it's probably gonna be like on the level of like a Raging Bolt kind of deck.
I think it's like tier 2. It can be tier 1 though.
Like I don't even
Honestly,
see
I
a
could it being
metagame.
tier 1.
I don't even
could
see a
it being tier
metagame
1.
where this is like
You can kill
Winnings.
Pidgeot. You can kill.
Pidgeot
Dragon
doesn't
Ball.
see any play.
I guess. Pidgeot. I miss Pidgeot, man.
Pidgeot's good. It'll come back into the format at some point, I'm sure. But it's just like I don't think the 280 number is really that good of a number anymore. Because you're not like you're killing your mirror, but 280 was really
You can play
good
Max Bell.
for like 3 years.
You can play
Then you're
Max
committing your ace spec to
Bell. What else is your expect gonna be?
literally like anyone that's better. You can play. There's so many broken ace specs. What do you
I
mean?
mean, Prime Catcher, Unfair Stamp.
Yeah. You can play Trolley. Trolley's probably actually pretty
Trolley's
good.
really good in that, yeah.
But my point is, 280 is a pretty bad number now. It's basically the same as hitting like.
Honestly, I think this deck's kind of good. You can just play Max Belt. Like, literally, what is wrong with playing Max Belt?
I don't know. I'm not a believer. Lucas likes this deck more than me. I don't think it's going to be great. I think
just
it'll
think
be
it's
playable.
fun. It looks cool. I want it to work, but
You're saying it's going to be a tier 1 deck, which I think is just objectively false.
maybe tier 2.
Yeah, I think this is like
It
a
has
B.
potential.
Yeah, B tier
It
deck.
could be tier 1.
Probably
but I
cracks a couple top 8s in its lifetime, but I don't think this is ever going to be like the deck to beat. The Wobbuffet is cool that you can like probably play like just one of this and tank.
think Hand Disruption.
Did I just hear you say that in the tone of Chicken Jockey?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay.
It's really, I really wish that Budu didn't exist in sometimes when I see these cards. Like this Chingling is a super cool card, but you cannot tell me you're ever playing this over Budu.
What
like,
regulation
ever.
mark is Budu?
I don't know.
Can you look it up? The Phone Mind
Budu.
Podcast. Budu.
It
Because
is
without Budu, this card could actually see a lot of value. You can like Iono to 2 late game discard card. Like you can go Stamp plus Gothitelle plus
These images are so blurry.
Team Marcus Chingling. How is
Continue talking.
Okay, so also there is hand disruption currently in the format that's just not seeing play, but that hand disruption is you need to be playing the Banette, the stage 1 Banette that discards 3 random cards from your opponent's hand, and Zerosic. So it's like a stage 1. So
This is terrible. The Pokemon card website, the image is too blurry for you to see the regulation mark, and it's not in the card text anywhere.
pass me your phone.
No.
Pass me your phone.
No, I
Bruh.
refuse. PRU or PRE regulation mark.
Okay, so this Chingling can actually be decent without Budu. Like, you can just kind of stick it up. You can go Stamp Chingling plus, like, something. And they do kind of lose a lot of potential, but I don't know. I think this card seems cool in theory, but it's probably not going to be very good. That's my theory. But that's just a theory.
A game theory. All right, at some point in the podcast, I'm going to stand up and find the IRL Budu card so I can
There's
answer
probably
this
a
question.
Budu over there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Chingling, it's really cool. Like you can go, I know, discard the card from hand. I like that it actually discards. Most of the time, these attacks just put it on the bottom or whatever. Actually getting rid of resources is really cool. But yeah, I just don't think that, like, even if you go Iono to 1, use this. I almost think that Iono to 1 attack with Budu is better than them discarding the one card they drew because they can't top deck an item anymore. So
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if this is ever going to see play.
Team Marcus Mimikyu, this card is really good. Jake Gearhart was going off about it on
He's a
Twitter.
doomer.
Did you see that? Did you see him? Like, he was literally...
Should I state my opinions on Jakey here on the podcast?
No, I think...
I'm going to do it. I think Jake Hart is a very nice person, but I blocked him on Twitter because he was really annoying me.
I don't
He
know.
yaps too much.
I like
He's
Jake
always
Hart.
complaining. Bro, let's all just play Pokemon. There's cool cards. You don't got to complain about Iron Hands for 30 minutes.
Okay, I like Jake Gearhart. I used to be in, like, his testing group thing. Every time I've met him, he's been a super chill guy.
I've met him. I really enjoy talking to him in person.
What
but
I will
I
say...
can't stand his Twitter. It just drives me insane.
I think his online... I find it interesting. I don't mind his Twitter account. He does say a lot of things, and he does go really in depth about certain things.
He's a doomer.
He is a doomer, but I find it interesting, so it's not that bad.
He is a case of the human psyche being biased towards negative things. But anyways, Team Rocket's Mimikyu. Just an example of a card that he was like just yapping about.
Okay, so yeah, Jake Gearhart was literally... he was comparing the... Okay, so you see this text? He was comparing the text on Mimikyu to the text on Mew to see if there was another word between your opponent's active Pokemon or not. So he could see if there
I
was
just
a Terra
couldn't
thing.
bring myself to care that much.
Dude, he literally... he did predict that it was a Terrapoke that it had to be Terrestrialized.
Why can't you just wait till the card comes out?
I mean, I don't know. It
don't
piques
know.
people's interest.
He's farming the Twitter cloud.
I don't know,
He's
he can do
farming
whatever
the
he
Twitter-
wants,
He can.
man. I found it
He
somewhat
has free
interesting.
will. He has free will.
I
to
found
do
it
whatever
somewhat
he-
interesting, but it was kind of crazy.
Yeah. This card, though, obviously it can copy Dragapult
You
EX.
can copy.
And
Yeah,
the
with
nice
a
thing,
Clefairy.
the thing I think that makes this card playable is that you can attach the double energy to it. I don't know if this is ever going to see play outside of like either Gardevoir EX because that can accelerate, or like a Rocket's deck to copy other Terra's Pokemon's attacks. But like,
If they print like a counter energy, it will.
yeah,
I don't know if they're gonna print a counter energy though.
maybe they would. I mean, if we're looking back to Sun and Moon, they printed Counter Catcher, Counter Gain, and Counter Gain or Energy all in the same format. We have 2 of those cards
But
legal
they
right
didn't
now.
print reversal energy.
This is true, but yeah, like if you look what you're copying with attack, it's probably Burning Darkness. It's probably Phantom Dive.
Like it's probably Topaz Bolt.
Yeah, like Topaz Bolt, copying Topaz Bolt wouldn't even be that good because
Yeah,
you have to
because
punch the
it's only one
Pikachu
shot
because
then,
it
yeah.
has to be inactive. This could be copying like Water Ogerpon. This could be copying Grass Ogerpon.
Grass Ogerpon, being able to copy Grass Ogerpon like in Asgardy seems pretty good.
Yeah, like you can usually probably pick up a KO with that.
Well, can you? No, it only has 60 HP. So you attach 2 energy plus rocket energy, and then that's doing 150.
They would either have 4 energies or you'd have to have 3 if
would
they
need to
had
have
triple
2.
energy.
You need to have 2.
Hmm?
So you would if
If they had 3 and you had 3, that's 210.
Okay. Wait. I guess because you're not playing a rocket energy in Guardy.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would need to have 3. So it's not very good. There's got to be other things.
I'm just thinking like relevant stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of relevant stuff too.
I think I named all the relevant like Terras that see play.
Terrapagos.
Oh yeah, I
You
guess
can
that's
copy
right.
like
I didn't
Unified
copy.
Beatdown. You can also copy Crown Opal.
And actually, this would be interesting because it wouldn't work against their Crown Opal because it's not a colorless type. I was thinking
But
if
they're
it
not
worked
going to
the other
Crown
way.
Opal you.
No, that's true.
So you can like.
But they're a colorless type, so it
they're
wouldn't
colorless
work.
type. Yeah,
They
I
could just
guess.
hit you.
So
I don't know. I
well,
know.
there has to be more relevant Terra Pokemon.
I don't think there really is. This Cornerstone, this isn't really doing anything. It's Cornerstone. It's just hitting it for 140. I just don't. If you think of what this card is actually doing, like the text looks a lot better than it is. It's most of the time just going to be played in your deck with Clefairy to one-shot a Bolt and hit the bench for 60. Which at that point, is it really even worth playing this when you could just use the Lily's Clefairy to attack through it? I think this will see niche play. This will have a Limitless page. Dottler.
I can't think of anything else. Yeah, there's no other. I don't think there's any more Terra Pokemon.
I did not see this. We got Reunicle.
Dottler!
That's actually such a sick
Look at the
ability.
top right card of your opponent's deck. Oh my god, broken.
No.
Okay, he's talking about Orbeetle.
Orbeetle.
As
If
often as you
anyone
like-
remembers Reuniclus, they will know about this.
You may move 1 damage counter from one of your. As often as you like to, you can go.
You literally told me to talk about Dottler and then cut me off.
You seem enthusiastic.
I'm just you told me. Oh, talk about Dottler. This
Not
then
that's
you
not
come-
Dottler.
Whatever. It just you can move your damage counters on your own board to your Team Rockets to other Pokemon. So you can move damage from a Team Rockets to a non-Team Rockets Pokemon. You couldn't do vice versa. This is
So you can probably go like attack with Mewtwo, retreat into another Mewtwo, attack, and then move a bunch of damage counters to one thing and Wobbuffet. But
yeah.
that seems
This
kinda-
is the idea. The problem is this is a stage 2. Reuniclus only really ever saw play in like lock or combo decks because the way that like Reuniclus used to play is you'd have like a tanky Pokemon in the active, and then you would like spread all your damage elsewhere, and then you play it with it was the Truth deck. You play like Blissey Prime, which could heal your whole board. If we still had a card like Cheryl, I'd be a lot more enthusiastic about this, because
Maybe
you
a
can like,
Penny.
yeah, it's just like you have to think
It doesn't
about,
seem that bad. Like you have Penny.
I guess.
Like you move all the.
I just don't know if this is worth the stage 2 in a deck that isn't like abusing it. Like with Reuniclus, it was like a broken, irreplaceable effect in that deck. It's what made that deck work. I don't think this is going to be like a broken.
Yeah, this
effect.
card's probably not that good, but it can be good. Like I think it will see.
You were also combining Reuniclus with Item Lock, which was broken because you
Yeah.
couldn't gust the Reuniclus because the only Item Lock or the only gust in that format was in the form of items. So
That was insane. Okay, I think, and also this Orbeetle's attack isn't that bad. 40 damage plus 40 more damage for each energy. Touch your opponent's
that's
active.
true. And you can think like you're always getting a double energy if you want to.
Yeah, so you can like swing for 160 pretty easily. It's not bad. Card will not have a limitless page. Okay. Primeape, this Pokemon is ideal, 70 HP, 30 damage. Oh, flip a coin if Tails attack is nothing.
50% of the time it does 30 damage, so still irrelevant. It can one shot a buddy half the time. So this is pretty good. Pretty good
okay.
basic.
It's
70
alright.
HP one retreat is honestly most of the time what I'm looking for in a basic, but Primeape decent drag off.
Yeah, basically you just want
Boss
some
and
like
30.
some niche utility in your basic Pokemon if you can.
Yeah.
Annihilate. Vessel of Rage. If this Pokemon has 2 more damage counters on it, attacks used by this Pokemon do 120 more damage. And then for 2 fighting, 160, this Pokemon can't use Impact Blow. So, you can put 2 damage counters on this thing, do 280 damage. With a maximum belt, you're doing 330
You
damage.
love Max.
I love Max Belt. So, there is some potential here. This card will have a limitless page, I think.
What? There's no way. Like Feraligatr does this exact thing, but better like in every way. There is no world where this is playable in a format where Feraligatr is legal.
Different regulation, Mark.
Maybe. For reference, Feraligatr has Retreat Lock. It has Switch to the Bench, both of which do 120 more if they want. Activate its own Monkey Dory, and hits the same number as the stage 2. So I honestly think this is like strictly worse.
This
than
guy
Feraligatr.
has Primeape, so if you can do 120 more, so you can do 150 to whatever Pokemon you want.
I guess. That's still probably.
And you have Wild Kick.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I don't know. Feraligatr, for me, it does the
Yeah,
damage.
Feraligatr is better.
It sets itself up to do the damage. You don't have to play other things, and its pre-evolutions have better attacks.
Pupitar.
Larvitar.
Oh, not bad. Discard
No, this
top
is
card
good.
of your opponent's deck.
This is a really good attack, actually. This is what we're talking about. A little bit of utility on your basic Pokemon. You very much could just win the game. Your opponent has one card left in the deck. You could read a scenario where they have like you're at like they're at 3 prizes left, and they have 3 cards left in the deck. Munch. Just go triple Overcharge.
This
Oh, this is a good one.
Pupitar is
Pupitar.
This Pupitar.
Pupitar. Luke said
Lannon.
poop.
Lannon.
Pupitar.
It does 30 damage, so it kills a Budew, and you can search your deck for a card that evolves from it, and
What?
then you can go into
Do you
Tyranitar.
think Pupitar had an explosive awakening? I know John would be laughing if he was watching.
Okay, for reference, John is my dad.
Yes, we love John. But yeah, this is very
So
good
this
attack.
thing can evolve. There's also a T-Tar that has item lock.
It is a Team Rocket's Tyranitar. Doesn't work. It has
Search your
to.
deck for a card that evolves from. Oh.
This has to evolve into the Team Rocket's Tyranitar,
Which
which
Pokemon is in your active
very
spot.
cool ability.
Ooh, put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's basic Pokemon during Pokemon checkup. So you can T-Tar plus. Help me out here.
plus what?
Frostlass.
Sure. If this reminds me of a card, if anyone knows, Flygon from Boundaries Crossed, which has the same ability, but it does 10 damage to each Pokemon during checkup, but it's not basics only. So I think this is in a way like a Power Cup version, although I think spread damage is the best against like evolving decks. So this is not going to be super good, I don't think, because
Yeah.
like the spread works against evolution decks and this only has basics. So
Rough. Yeah, because then you could Devo.
yeah.
It'd be pretty good. Fighting colors. 180 discard energy from your opponent's out of Pokemon.
I mean, if you look at this in the
Wow.
context of reversal, it's not honestly horrible. Like that is a pretty good attack if you can get it going. But it's always going to be at least 2
You can
attachments.
also like Team Rocket's energy just for 2 energy.
And attach 2 of those, I guess. But
No, but
Yeah.
plus fighting energy 'cause you can't. It's a psychic attack.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Okay.
I think that card was like
It's like decent.
cool.
Probably doesn't have a limitless page.
Probopass.
Maybe it
mid,
does have a
nose
limitless
pass
page.
mid.
Yeah, really bad.
Mid,
That's
Medicham.
good. Go up.
What?
Meditite, 70 HP, 1 retreat, 10 plus 20 if you. So you can do 30, 50% of the time killing a Budew.
Mm-hmm.
And then 50 damage is 1.
Not it.
Yeah, not good.
Very conditional 170. Reggie
Yeah,
RPX,
it's
horrendous.
50 plus 120 if you have the same amount of energy attached as your opponent's active Pokemon on Medicham, which just isn't great. Regirock, okay. Reggie Charge. Attach up to 2 basic fight energy from your discard pile of this Pokemon. Giant Rock.
They did my boy Reggie
Fighting
dirty.
colors. 140 plus 140 if your opponent's active Pokemon is stage 2. Oh, yo, Max Belt?
Bro.
Max
So bad.
Belt.
Team Rocket's Snake. I mean, Ekans.
Snake? Oh, did you guys know that Ekans is backwards is Snake?
Real.
Oh my god. Flip a coin if your Pokemon is not paralyzed, and then 10 damage. So that's pretty good. 70 HP, 1 retreat. It can buy a turn. That's some niche utility on a basic. Arbok is, if this Pokemon is in your active spot, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent cannot play any Pokemon cards with abilities from their hand, excluding Rocket's Pokemon.
And then Triple Dark 30 to each opponent's Pokemon.
So with Reversal Energy, it's not bad.
Not a great Not a great card.
Honestly, it's not bad. Honestly, it's kind of okay.
If there's ever this reminds me of Chimeco, which was a Pokemon that had this ability on an attack for 1 Psychic. You just did 10, and then this effect was on your opponent for the turn. That was very good against Zoroark, Lycanroc, because basically all of their evolutions had abilities. If you find yourself in a metagame where your opponent's deck has exclusively abilities, then sure. The problem with this is as a stage 1.
So you would have to Devo.
Yeah. So if you like go, that's actually that's not a terrible plan. Like if you're able to get yourself into a board state with like maybe double Arbok, so they can just boss around it, and then Devo all their evolutions.
You can play Titan EX in this deck.
So Titan broken. But yeah, I think this maybe.
It seems kind of mid. I don't think it's gonna be good.
I don't think
Just
we'll ever
they
see
can boss
play.
around it.
This is one of the cards that I would like not be surprised if it ended up being really good for like an event. I think this is one of those cards you need to be aware that it exists, but it's not really going to do anything, I don't think.
Yeah, low key. Every tournament I'm gonna go back to it.
This again,
Nidoran,
flip for 30, 7 HP, 1 retreat.
Yep,
pretty
that's
good. Nidorina.
The basics of the set have been on point. Nidorina, Dark Awakening. Choose up to 2 of your Dark Pokemon. For each of those Pokemon to your deck for a card that falls from that Pokemon and put it on
Also
that
a pretty
Pokemon.
good attack, yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a
T
pretty good.
Evo. It's literally just Evo
That's
for
a pretty
Dark
good. That's a pretty good stage 1. And then the Nido Queens and Nido
Ooh,
Kings.
love impact.
60 if you. If you have any bench Pokemon with Nido King, it does 180. So pretty strong. One shots. There's a psychic type Gardevoir. One shots Gardevoir on a 1 prizer, and it's just good consistent damage. 180 every turn for 1 energy is really good.
I want to reference Amphoros's comment earlier, there has been a lot of Nidoqueen and Nidoking cards that do very similar effects where they do more damage if they're both in play. Not a single copy of those cards have ever been playable, and I don't think that's
Wait,
going to change.
check Limitless. Honestly, has Nidoking ever had a playable card?
No, Nidoqueen has. There was the Nidoqueen that had the ability to search for a Pokemon. There was Nidoking Meganium.
Unbroken Bonds, yeah.
Yes.
And then Nidoban, really bad basic. Well, not really bad. 70 HP, 1 retreat, 2 energy 30, and then 1 energy 10. And then 2 retreat, 100 HP, Nidorino, dark colors 30, dark colors 60 plus 60 if your opponent already has damage counters on it. Nidoking EX.
Those are dirty horns here.
Dark color.
That's kind of whack.
100
Nidoking's freaky. Look at the small thing.
Jesus. Okay, man.
This card's
100
really bad,
damage,
though.
your contact Pokemon's poison. Yeah, this isn't good. For 3 energy, you get to do 180. And then if they retreat, it's just like, damn.
You have to
And
think
for
of this is a
4
Rocks
energy, you do
Pokemon,
40.
so you have double energy access. So think of all these attacks as kind of discounted by 1 contextually, but even with that in mind,
With
it's...
two energy, doing 240 is not that bad, but you can just play Charizard.
Yeah. Team Rocket Zubat.
Oh, this is a really fun card. So Zubat is 50 HP, 1 retreat. This card should just have free retreat. Your opponent's not poisoned. This card should just have free retreat. And then Team Rocket Golbat, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So stage 1, pretty good. For
Good
stage
attack
one.
too, 30 Confuse Ray, Auto Confusion.
Kills Budu.
Bite a Boot.
Team Rocket's Crobat.
Got Bite a Boot here.
You use Bot About. When you play this Pokemon,
No, stop
when you
it.
play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you can put 2 damage counters on 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's not very. It's pretty good.
Assassin's Return.
120, return this Pokemon to your hand, which isn't bad.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I would like to reference back to a little fun set called Phantom Forces from the XY era, which had a very similar line, which I obviously know that they're going after here. The Golbat, when it evolved, it did 20 damage, had the Sneaky Bite ability, and then the Crobat, when it evolved, did 30 damage whenever put its Pokemon. These numbers are basically the same. Like, the Crobat is the same. It is the same as my reference to Satitan earlier. These cards have not at all kept up with power creep. Because if you think of Evolve for 20, Evolve for 30, that was a very meaningful amount of damage when all of the 2 pricers had like 180 HP. 220 was the highest, like, Mega EX HP outside of like Groudon that was playable. So these were doing like a very large amount of damage. Although keep in mind, basics like basic evolving Pokemon haven't gotten that much better. They're usually between 60 and 80 HP still. So these do have that use case to kill smaller things, but they're not really going to be helping you with large KOs like Golbat and Crobat were. And especially like the fact that they made this Crobat not. If this Crobat was like do 30 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, different story. Because then we can be talking about killing like Buddies. Or I think this. I'm not even sure if
I don't even know like if you can print something that has 30 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon or 40 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon.
Yeah, maybe you can't, but like I don't think that 2 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon is especially playable. Like I do know, like think back to Inteleon VMAX, that was pretty good, but that's because you've got like
You can do
multiple
it every
Inteleons
turn.
and you just kept doing it. This you like have to be cycling Turos, and you have to be cycling like
Yeah,
its
like
attack.
this could realistically just say discard a basic energy from your hand, 2 to 2 thing.
Yeah, if this then I'd be interested in this. Also, both Crobat and
It is a
Golbat
Team Rocket.
had free retreat.
It is a Team Rocket's Crobat, so with the special energy you can attach.
Yeah,
one
like this
to
attack
20.
is a lot better than it looks just because of that double energy.
What?
Also,
I mean,
pisses me off these don't have free retreat.
Actually, this might have potential because you can go like turn 1 Evo into Golbat.
Then you can't
can't
use-
Evo.
you can't even
Evo.
sneak into it.
Oh no.
You can Evo. You're just defeating the whole point of your deck at that
That
point.
sucks, man.
I just think like
I
if
don't hate it. Eventually, you end up going like Badu, and then you can play like Cornerstone, Mimikyu, maybe like Milotic Farigiraf if you want to, stuff like that. That seems like too much, but you can play any combination of those cards, and then you can go Team Rocket Energy, 120 return, go into that Pokemon, attach a rescue board to it or something, retreat it, 120 swing, but you're spreading everywhere, and you win in a couple turns.
problem here is if they ever one shot you, your deck is doing 120 damage.
You can play Blood Moon plus Iono.
That's the
That's
cope.
everybody. Oh,
That's
I'll
the
just
cope.
Blood Moon Iona them and I'll just win, right? Surely.
I mean, with stuff like this, being able to set up damage, that is actually not that bad.
Yeah. I think the way I don't think
But
this
I don't
is
think
going to
this
be
deck's going to be very good. I think it'll be fun. It might maybe someday be okay for a tournament, but most likely not. I think the Golbat has a better chance of being played than the Crobat, but I think the Crobat probably is played if Golbat's used. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
Golbat was not its own deck. Crobat was not its own deck back in the day. It was strictly a support piece. I don't think this is relevant enough to be a support piece, and I don't think it's really powerful enough to be its own deck. So both the contexts where I see this being played, I don't think it's good enough. It could be surprised me that maybe like this thing just hard walls the format. Like if nothing's hitting for 310 plus, then sure. I really dislike these don't have free retreat because at the peak of the Zubat line, all three of them had free retreat. There was a Zubat that had an ability that free flight, it could retreat for free if it didn't have energy attached, which was all the time. And then both of these just had naturally free retreat cost. I think they could have given these both free retreat without like any consequence.
I think Zubat could have had free retreat.
Yeah, they could have given this whole line free retreat, and I still probably wouldn't even be interested in them. But
it would be better.
I do think that this attack, it looks a lot better than it reads because obviously
being able to go like 120, not return the Pokemon, and then 120 return the Pokemon is actually pretty good.
Yeah, and yeah, that is good a distinction. It is a May effect, so you can just hit for 120 and leave it there if it is tanking. So yeah, I think maybe like if you're playing Hawlucha and you can go
There's some
evolve.
potential here.
But even if you think about like, okay, I'm gonna go evolve Golbat, evolve Crobat, you're still only doing 60 to 1 Pokemon. You have to then Hawlucha again to take that KO. And like if that damage is sticking down, like that Pokemon's presumably evolving and gaining more HP. So then you're just further and further behind. Whereas for the instance, if this just did evolve for 30 to one other Pokemon, I almost think that might be even better than the double 2 snipe because then you could go 20-20-30 and hit for 70 on one thing. Which if you're cycling, you're spreading a lot more damage. But I don't know. I think this card will probably have a Limos page. It will probably do something, but I don't think it is anywhere near the power level of the old Crobat and Crobat. Because those were like in top cut of like Worlds when they were peak. They were broken.
Yeah, I'm not even for sure on if this is gonna have a limitless page, man.
I think there will be like a top 128 or top 256 at least for this.
Maybe.
Team Rocket's Grimer.
This card's actually pretty fun. Dark Colorless, at the end of your opponent's next turn, discard the defending Pokemon and all cards attached to it. So you can play this in literally any Pidgeot deck. You can play this Grimer, Team Rocket's Energy, Iono Low, discard your Pokemon.
Lucas loves Iono.
They love discarding
They love
Pokemon.
Ionoing to one. Sticky Mess 40.
I mean, I actually don't really think this Grimer's that bad. You can just
it's
stamp and then like do that. Like that could actually be played in some Pidgeot decks.
the problem with this is obviously they just retreat and it does nothing, and you're stuck with an 80 HP Pokemon. So
I mean,
that evolves into an irrelevant Pokemon.
I mean, but it's also a one prizer. Like you can just do that early. Sticky Mess, Dark Colorless. Your opponent's deck Pokemon is now confused. During your opponent's next turn, that Pokemon can't retreat. And then Dark Colors, 100 x 100 for each special condition affecting your opponent's Pokemon. So that's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. Really bad.
Team Rocket's Coughing.
This Pokemon is in the active spot. It's damage by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon. Even if it's knocked out, search deck for up to 2 Pokemon with coughing in their name and put them on
Very
your
cool
bench.
ability.
That's a cool ability.
I've never seen that before, but that is really cool. I've never seen that.
That's really cool.
So this is actually like
That's
I'd like
really
to see
good
this
basic.
explored more often because in reference to our early like conversation about like stage 1s making stage 2s that aren't normally good much better, this could make like an evolving line very powerful because you think like very commonly when you're bricking with like an evolution deck, you're just like, dang, I have my one evolving basic and then I'll just like bench something random and pass and they kill your basic. And then now instead of being 1 turn behind, you're like 2 to 3 turns behind because you have to bench it, wait a turn, evolve. This
Well, it's just kind of rough. That doesn't really work for this deck either, because the Wheezing is you do 40 for each Pokemon and put
yeah,
Wheezing.
no,
But
this
in
card
general-
like the evolution sucks. The basic ultimately sucks because the evolution is terrible.
But
Just
the
the
effect
concept.
on the ability is kind of cool.
I think that's a really interesting design space I've never seen explored, and I really like that. I think that's super cool.
Also,
and
this art is clean as hell.
no, it's actually dirty. It's made of toxic gas. Gross Molten.
Team Rocket's Murkrow. Search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, put it in
80
your
HP.
hands.
Oh, you're trolling me, dude. You're trolling.
1 retreat. Dark colors, 30 damage. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks. During your opponent's next turn, that Pokemon can't use that attack.
That's also a pretty good evolving.
That's a
basic.
really good evolving basic.
Quite a bit of utility.
Team. But wait, no, there isn't a Honchkrow.
We're getting trolled. We're getting trolled.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say about the coughing? Because
No, it's fine.
I think it's cool. Honestly, I think more basics should have that. Team Rocket Sneasel. This is also a lone Pokemon. Scratch, 20 damage. Backstab, Dark. This attacks 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each damage counter already on that Pokemon. Not bad.
No, I think also both of these can use both their attacks for 1 attachment because of the double energy.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. Like, you also in Pidgeot decks.
Because
I love Pidgeot.
he loves playing Pidgeot. Oh, there's our fortress from earlier. Moving any number. Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, God.
Not even gonna read
no,
that.
we're not. That's terrible.
Skarmory, unplayable garbage.
Wait, what do you mean unplayable garbage? Let me read that.
What do you mean? Yeah, it's unplayable garbage.
Yo, let's go. You can tank. You just have to play
No.
Hero's Cape.
This is a waste of your time.
Yeah. Metal colorless Zamazenta. 70 damage. During your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, put damage counters on the attacking Pokemon equal to the damage on this Pokemon. Very bad.
Very bad, but it's cool.
It's a cool effect.
It is like
You could just have that on an ability.
it would be good if there was a large amount of decks that just like say for instance our Chaladon. It is just hitting for 220. 220. If you look at something like Goldengo, they could hit you for exactly 150 and not take that. So if there's like a Pokemon in the format that is ever very, very strong, that hits a very high number and has no way around it, like no modular damage, like something like Raging Bolt can discard 2 energy and then
You want
like
to know what you should do?
What?
They should just do something like Sigilyph GX.
they should crush Loaf.
They, they should do stuff like Sigilyph GX, which is if you get hit by a GX, you put that many damage counters on it due to how much damage they did to you. That's what that effect was?
Yeah, no, that was a cool effect. And that card actually saw some play because it was an ability. I just don't think this is ever
Yeah,
I think it's interesting.
There's definitely some better design there.
Yeah. Bleh.
See, I kind of like the Raticate.
What?
Flips the coins with both her tails. It does 90 to itself, but like 90 for one's kind of fun, but it's not a basic.
Kind
it's
of
just bad.
fun, not good.
Team Rocket's Meowth.
Catnap.
Choose a random card. Where?
That's attack.
Where? No, I was just saying. Where was the cursor? Catnap. Choose a random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals that card and shuffles it into their deck. Colorless. 20x damage. Flip 3 coins for each heads. Do 20.
Party orders.
Persian EX. Two
Reveals-
colorless.
oh.
Your opponent reveals the top 10 cards of their deck. You may choose an attack from a Pokemon you find there and use it as this attack. Your
That's some
opponent shuffles it.
RNG if I've ever seen that.
That's funny as hell. Colors. 140. Your opponent's Pokemon is now confused.
Not good.
Kangaskhan EX.
Kangaskhan. There is a Kangaskhan.
Not Kangaskhan EX. Kangaskhan.
There
This
is
really
Kangaskhan
bad.
EX, though.
That's not even what we're talking about. This is really bad. Porygon. Discard 1 card from your hand, then your opponent discards 1 card from their hand.
They get to choose.
Rough.
Decent deck, 60 HP.
It's not bad.
Wait, no.
Like, you can go Iona to 1.
Poke Beach. Who is? That's it. You're getting fired.
Fired.
Fired for the free resource. Out of here.
Yeah,
Shut
you
up, Poke
suck.
Beach. Team Rocket's Porygon 2. Control R20.
This one has 90 HP.
for each
And then
supporter.
for triple colorless, 20 damage. This attack is 20 damage for each support card in your discard pile with Team Rockets in its name. It's not bad. You may discard 2 cards from your hand.
This is the Porygon Z, by the way.
Once during your turn, you may draw a card. No, this is all Porygon 2.
Okay.
No, Porygon Z is discard. You may discard 2 cards from your hand to use this ability. You may draw a card. You must discard 2 cards.
It's just refinement or trade or whatever you want to call it.
No.
Oh, it's
you,
discard. Oh, never mind.
You have to discard 2 cards from
No,
your hand to draw one.
That's terrible.
Colorless. The second.
It's
20 damage for each supporter in your discard pile with Team Rockets.
Articuno GX's or no V's attack or ability.
And that card was okay.
That's because there's a basic.
But this card actually isn't even that bad. Like, you can go evolve, and then you can dump 16 Rocket supporters into the discard pile.
There are like 5 playable Rocket supporters that are all like acceptable that I wouldn't blame you for
20.
playing.
So you can play 20 Rocket supporters, dump all of them into 400. This is the best deck ever. This isn't even what we're
Unplayable
talking about.
Swallow, unplayable Squawkabilly.
I mean, it's
Okay,
not-
and we're good. We're
okay.
here. Yes, we're good to the trainers. We're here.
This is maybe the best trainer package any deck has ever been
It's
given.
crazy.
It's crazy. This is some of the coolest trainers we've ever seen by far and away.
Nah,
Yes.
I don't know about by
Team
far and
Rocket's
away.
Intruder Robot. Literally no card has ever been called that. And that's so cool.
Real.
Choose one of your...
There's also never been a card that's called Skippy Toilet.
Whoa! Choose one of your opponent's face-down prize cards and a random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals those cards. You may have your opponent switch the revealed cards.
Cool effect. Never seen play.
I mean, actually, yeah.
It's like it's quite literally like it's basically does nothing.
Unless they're at one card, you know exactly what that one card is.
Yeah, because they're swapping a random card from their hand with a random prize card. So they're just
Random for random.
there's no
Team Rocket's
Nothing.
Great Ball. Capturing Aroma for Team Rocket's Pokemon. If you flip a head, you get an evolution. If you flip a tails, you get a basic.
I'm a hater on this.
Yeah, I don't know why they printed
I
this.
mean, they could have just reprinted Aroma, and Aroma was like a terrible trainer anyways. I
I'm
mean,
so
it saw
happy
play
that-
because there was no better option.
I'm
but
so happy that that card's gone, man. I hated
Yeah.
that card so much. Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. This is so cool. Flip a coin. If heads, put 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. If tails, put 2 damage counters on your active Pokemon. So you know all those ladder donk decks that people used to play on PTCGO?
yes,
You can play that now. Because Team Rocket's item literally just accelerates the amount, like, it heightens the amount of damage you can do as a donk deck.
I
am Steve.
am Steve. Yes, that is true. But I don't see where this is seeing play because like There's
No, you're not. It's not seeing play IRL.
I
It's not
think
seeing
the
play,
only
like-
places it's seeing play is in like a Monkey Dory deck, but the problem with the Monkey Dory deck is like
the only places it's seeing play is on PCG Live Ladder.
no, I do think this card could be legitimate in like a Monkey Dory deck.
Maybe.
Like it is one of the ways like to damage your Pokemon, and we're always gonna be looking for ways to damage your own Monkey Dory because it's very difficult to do so on just like a trainer effect. It's basically just Calamitous Snowy Mountain, which is terrible. But people play that card because they're fiending for ways to damage their Monkey Dories.
Yeah.
This is a way to do that on a coin flip, but you can also think of it like it's not really a coin flip because say like 50% of the time the damage just has to go to their active as opposed to the other 50% of the time where you could put it to their bench as well. So like in like a dedicated Monkey Dory deck, this is basically an item that just says do 20 damage if you have like your Monkey Dories out. But the problem I see there is the monkey has to be in the active. If this let you put the damage cards on any of your Pokemon, I don't think that they reward the card that way, but if it did do that, and I think this could be actually quite powerful. But you basically have to to play on the variance of this card to play with multiple copies. And I just 20 damage modifier regardless, like an item that does 20 damage. I don't even know how good that would be. Very strong. They're never going to print that, but I don't even know how good that would. I don't even know if that would be that ultimately playable.
Yeah, just like 20 damage on an item.
Yeah, if it just said this item does 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, like
That'd be broken.
I don't think it'd be broken.
It'd be really good.
Like that's worse than Electro Power. Or
But
like
that's just damage that's there.
yeah, it's. I'm not saying that card would be that
Dude,
bad.
Donk would be broken.
It's not, I'm not. I don't think it would be. Like I don't think that's even a hot take to say an item that did just 20 damage
I mean,
that wouldn't be
yeah.
obscene. It wouldn't
Maybe,
be like
maybe. Electro Power.
absolutely
Electro
broken.
Power was broken though.
This is.
Electro Power was so good.
It wasn't so good. Power Tablet also keep in mind was there.
And it was so
Electro
good.
Power was 30 damage years ago before
You did 30 more
Access.
damage with your lightning Pokemon.
Yeah, and this is only 20 damage years later into Power Creep. So I think this is
But
like
that format back then had bigger basics. This format has evolving basics.
yes. I don't know. We don't need to argue about this theoretical card.
No,
I'm just
actually, maybe
saying
not.
that card wouldn't even be that obscenely broken. And we have to work pretty hard to make it into that card. So I don't think that card is that. This card is that good.
Do you know what card is good?
Yeah, the next
Team
one.
Rocket's Receiver.
This is an insane engine.
This is broken. Item card, search your deck for a supporter card with rockets in its name, reveal it and put it into your hand. Okay. We're just gonna rapid fire these cards, okay? You actually just don't understand how broken these cards are unless we rapid
I
fire.
think you might be overselling it a little bit.
Team Rocket's Receiver. Search your deck for a supporter card. Any of these supporter cards coming up. Team Rocket's Ariana. Draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. If all your Pokemon in play are Rockets, you draw until you have 8.
Probably not playing that.
Team Rocket's Archer. You can play this card only if your Team Rocket's Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Shuffle your hand into your deck. Each player does that. You draw 5, they draw 3. Okay? Broken card. Next. Team Rocket's Giovanni. You switch your active Rockets Pokemon with one of your bench Team Rockets Pokemon. If you do, then switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. Literally Guzma. Okay? You can search for all of these with your item card. Team Rocket's Petrol. Search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Literally Skyla, which saw play by itself. Team Rocket's Proton. If you go first, you may use this card during your first turn. Search your deck for up to 3 basic Team Rocket's Pokemon, reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck.
He's is very passionate about this topic. I think he might be overselling the brokenness here.
This is literally one of the better engines we've seen in a while.
I think these cards are all good.
They're
I
all
don't think
really
they're
good, but I think the Rockets deck itself is just not good enough.
yeah, they're like the enablers for this deck are great. Like we have this way to just play, you play 4 of your receiver. Obviously not great into a buddy format, but you can play 4 wild card supporter basically. That can find you
Yeah.
a decent draw supporter, a decent disruption supporter, a very good gust effect, a Skyla effect, and also your setup. Because this Proton, like Luke is saying, you can use it going first. So if you're playing 4 Proton, 4 of your receiver, it's basically like you have 8 outs to just search for 3 of your Pokemon, which is great.
You don't even really need to play Poffin at that point.
No, you don't even really have, outside of the little spider Tarantula, that have that many profitable Pokemon.
You
in the
just play
deck.
Nest Ball,
Yeah.
just so that you can go Fez.
Yeah, so, and then you have, Skyla, which I was actually, building a deck the other day, one of my Zoroark Archaludon deck, and I wasn't super attached to any of the tools in my deck, and I thought about, just playing Arven with no tools, because I want to find my trolley, and then I was like, man, I really wish Skyla was just legal, but here we are. So if you're ever playing a deck that you want to have, the search specificity of, Arven, but you don't really want to play any of the tools, because now that Sealstone's gone, there's not, a broken tool card to be searching anymore. There's good tool cards, but there's none that are just, wow, I should be punting when I'm playing this, Skyla could end up being better than Arven
Yeah.
in certain scenarios. So I think this is like a pretty universally playable.
Yeah, I think
card as
Petrol
well.
will be the most. played out of all of these.
Skyla's been very good before. It's always been good in like slower formats, but like we're playing Brock, Scouting, and Jock in this format, so I don't see why Skyla couldn't be reasonable as well.
Yeah, Brock Scouting is so funny that we're playing that card.
Yeah, this is genuinely good too.
It's
so.
a good card. Yeah,
And then the Ariana, this is like
quite good. It's not bad.
it's
But
only
then you
good if
can't
you're
match
playing
Fez.
all rockets.
Then
Yeah,
you
I
can't
think
match
this is
Fez.
probably the worst of the bunch of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like you have to have all rockets Pokemon, and then at that point, you're not really drawing any cards without a supporter, which is unfortunate.
Which is rough.
This is just like Unfair Stamp, but less good because they draw 3. This is very reasonable. Like Iono is very much going to be better than this, like later in the game because it's going to put them to lower hand size. But keep in mind this is always drawing you 5, so it's kind of like Roxanne in that way, where you're drawing the cards guaranteed. And this is going to be better than Iono in the early game. So I think this is going to be like probably a good one of in the deck because again you can just search
Probably
them.
2 of.
Maybe 2 of it. You won't maybe play this twice, but you're probably playing an amount of Iono regardless.
A 2 of.
Maybe. And then like this Giovanni is very, very good.
Yeah, Kuzma is one of the best cards. That is one of the best supporters of all time.
Prime catcher for people that didn't play when Guzma's out. I'm sure everyone's heard like, oh, item Guzma. So this is just supporter Guzma, but only works for.
Team Rocket's Pokemon.
They worded this very well, where you have to switch your Rockets active with one of your Rockets bench, so you can't just like play one Rockets Pokemon and then play this, because Boss is presumably going to rotate next rotation. By the looks of things currently, if they
Which
don't
is
reprint
clean.
Boss. I love no Boss formats. I don't think people realize how broken of a card Boss is until it's not in the format.
Boss is like so broken.
It's such an insane card. But
but having to play like counter catcher or like playing certain styles
Yeah.
of decks because
I don't think people realize that they
Gust.
should have to try for Gust. It shouldn't just be an auto 4-of that you can just play in your deck. Like, both of the regionals I won had 4 Boss in my deck because Boss is an insane effect. It's absurd.
But like having to play Team Rockets so that you can Gust, or having to play Hops, like Hops Wooloo into double is so much like it's way healthier than Boss.
Yeah, I like to think of it, if you should have to try for Boss. It shouldn't be easy. Like, you shouldn't be able to just like play Fish for Ultra Ball to find your Boss. Like, you just always having Boss in the game is so lame. Think of how much better Iono is if they have to like try to find Boss on top of just naturally drawing it. They have to like meet a condition. So it makes Disruption a lot more effective when Boss isn't in the format, and you can play cooler, slower decks because you're not just going to get your stage 1 Boss as soon as you evolve it or whatever. So, or your Fez isn't going to get bossed or whatever. There are downsides to having no Gust in terms of like just your opponent can have like Ladia, Squawk, Fez, all this stuff on the bench. Presumably Squawk also rotates, but anyways, I really enjoy Conditional Gust outside
Conditional
of
Gust is really
bossing.
good. But then only having formats with Pokemon Catcher is terrible.
Yeah, like we you need like the balance. You need like functional Gust. Like I remember when we had custom catcher only, that was pretty lame.
It was kind of cool.
I did like in that format. Like we're talking about 2019 Worlds. Then that's when Ninetales was really good. I think it just breeds more creativity. It is also annoying like when your opponent can just play tank decks and just retreat through all their stuff or whatever. But
then just
I
play
enjoy.
double.
True. Yeah, it encourages more cool cards to be played.
Yeah.
Isn't there like some like
Every turn Gust for like stage 2s.
I'm not exactly sure. I know there's like a Weevil or whatever, but yeah, the Skyla effect is going to be good. You're going to be set up really well.
Oh yeah, and then Team Rocket's Proton's really good.
And yeah, this solves the issue. Like Bridget used to be like a very good card, which was just search for 3 non EX basics. And that once GXs came out, it worked for GXs. So that card was very good.
Yeah, and that was at the time when you could play supporters going first.
So like Bridget as an effect is very powerful, or like something like Gloria or whatever. Oh, there is multiple effects in standard like recently
That would have been really good if it didn't have the no supporter on the first turn clause.
Yeah, and this card will absolutely be very good in this deck because anytime we've had like close to non-conditional search for 3 bases as a supporter, it's been good throughout history until the supporter rules changed.
Yeah. Team Rocket's Watchtower. This card's really cool. Both players, colorless Pokemon, have no abilities.
So
That's a
Noctowl.
stadium. So no Noctowl,
No Pidgeot.
no Pidgeot.
Looks is Mauling.
No!
Can't Pidgeot.
No Ditto, no Fanrodom. There's other things. No Dubwool in formats that have Gust. Like so in a couple rotations you can shut off your opponent's Dubwool. What else is there?
I don't know. There's stuff. There's Dodrio. I can't damage myself.
No!
Mauling. I think this card.
It's really cool.
It's
It's
cool.
really cool. I think and I like that it's not limited to you have to play a Team Rocket's Pokemon.
Yeah. Also, like I had this take for about a week now that I think Noctowl decks suck.
I disagree.
Because Dragapult is just so broken. If you want to look at the top 8 of Atlanta, you'll see there's 5 Dragapult decks there that all just farm the Noctowl decks because Noctowl just can't beat a Dragapult format.
Woohoo!
And this is a further nail in the coffin. I think like it seems silly for me to say like the stage 1 that you search in double Scala is not very good. I just think contextually in this format, that the Terra decks just are unfavored into Dragapult, which is just makes them unplayable in my opinion. So, not unplayable, just like
Team Rocket's Factory.
I saw someone online just freaking out about this card. Seems good, but
During either player's turn, when they play a supporter with Team Rocket's name, you can draw 2.
okay. I think the person I was watching was under the impression this worked anytime you played a Team Rocket card in the once per turn. So this was just draw to every turn. Presumably, you're probably playing a Rocket supporter most of the time in a Rockets deck every turn.
Like, you have your Gust, you have your Disruption, you have everything.
But I don't know if
Being
this
able
is
to draw an additional 2 is really good.
It's really good. I think this card's probably pretty strong, but like, if this is in play, it's not like you have to play supporter to draw the cards. Like something like Scorched Earth enabled you to discard the card.
Scorched Earth was you can discard a basic fire or basic fighting from your hand to draw 2.
Yeah, or like Single Strike. It was like a separate
Single Strike
action than the
Daft
supporter.
Tower was you just
Like
play
say
Single Strike
you
card
didn't
to
have
draw
a supporter, you could then use your stadium to draw into a supporter potentially. Where this is never going to do that. I think this is worse than like the conditional discard a card draw 2 stadium that we've traditionally seen.
I agree.
But this will probably be in the Rockets deck. We're also not sure if that deck's going to be like an Area 0 deck. So we'll see. I don't think this is really 100% a shoe.
That Spite Ops deck's really good.
You got to show me. I'm a hater.
Last card.
This is the card we've been referencing the whole time.
Team Rocket's Energy.
It's just
This card can only be attached to a Team Rocket's Pokemon. If it's attached to anything else, discard it. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 in any combination of Psychic and Dark Energy.
Yeah, so I think they learned their lesson with Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, making the double energy Pokemon like obscene, because Mewtwo is nowhere near that level of good. But yeah, this looks back at Rapid Strike Energy, look to Double Turbo. We know that double energy is very good, and this is the newest iteration of double energy.
Yeah, and we've been referencing it the entire time. It enables a lot of Rocket strategies.
Yeah, like most of these Rockets Pokemon that we said were good would be garbage tier without this card. So like Mewtwo having to be -1 attachment on this
That's pretty.
is very good.
You can actually set it up in one turn with like Spite Ops E-Switch.
Yeah, so that's all the cards for that part of it.
And
I
then
forgot
where
to.
is that?
This is
Psyduck?
the other thing. So these cards are, I believe, promos, but they should be coming in the same set for English. There is like just a couple random cards here. There's 4 of them. Psyduck being the most.
Psyduck is so fun. Okay, you go ahead with Psyduck.
Sure. Psyduck is damp. It says each player's Pokemon that has an ability with an effect that knocks out that Pokemon does not have an ability. I.e., you cannot Curse Blast from Dusknoir or Dusclops.
Magneton.
You cannot. You can't Fortress EX.
You can't Fortress EX.
No. I
Really like this card.
don't think it's very good.
What?
I'm of the
So
opinion that the Dragapult deck that is better in this format is the straight Dragapult without Dusknoir.
Yeah. I think Dusknoir is going to come back, though. And, like, control decks, Sander made a post about this.
No, I was actually about to say that. I think this card is only good in control decks.
Okay.
That's what I'm about to say. Because Dusknoir traditionally just, like, destroys control decks because not only do you make them take prizes, which you can then Iono them lower, you're also just able to attack them through any effect. So, like, any walling Pokemon cannot be stopped. Like, Dusknoir can go through it, basically, because you can't stop like damage effects because it's an ability and it's damage counters. So it's really weird in the way it's worded. It just hits or anything. Like I remember playing against you in that league that one time where I trolled you so hard, and I just went like Dusknoir, Baidu K, you're melodic. If you just had Psyduck, I'm cooked. I can't do anything. So I think this is basically exclusively gonna be a one-off in Pidgeot control or adjacent decks. And maybe if your deck is just like, I feel like this is going to be a Giratina promo situation, except for...
Giratina promo was it prevented breaks from using abilities.
Yeah.
From evolving?
No, from having abilities.
Okay, yeah. So it stopped Greninja Break, which was discard a water energy.
The problem with Psyduck, I see, it's got 70 HP. You're just like benching a free prize card for Dragapult decks. Like, okay, I just won't use my Dusknoir line anymore. I'm still playing 4/4/3 Dragapult, and I'll just take a free prize.
You have to be applying pressure with the Psyduck on the board. Like, you have to be Milotic, most likely.
Yeah.
I think Psyduck's really cool. I think it solves a couple problems. I think it's good.
Yeah, I feel like people see this and like, oh, Dusknoir's dead. Like,
No.
people aren't just going to be playing a one of Psyduck in every deck.
Every single deck ever is now going to play one of Psyduck.
I am very
Just
glad that this
despite-
card exists, though, because I really enjoy tech cards that have counterplay that aren't just guaranteed and just make people think about things. But I do think this card is absurd
Psyduck is
in
a
control.
very healthy card.
This is
Also,
absurd
this
in control.
artwork is so sick.
It is sick.
This is such a sick artwork.
The Golduck has the exact same ability and has an attack that does more damage. So you're never...
60...
Pokebeach didn't even put the
there.
effect on here because it's irrelevant.
60 plus 20 for each water.
Yeah.
So it's bad.
This
artwork is also so sick.
They are sick arts. But it's the same ability. There's no reason to play this because the basic is just...
Do you have anything else to say?
I do. Kangaskhan EX.
I meant like about Psyduck.
Oh, not really. I do think this is absurd in control decks, though.
I think it's really good. And I think some decks that are weak to Dusknoir will just play it.
Yeah.
And also, like, if Magneton gets really good, like, you can just play
Yeah,
it.
and it also like future proofs if they want to print this card being in format really helps them print more. I mean, Dusknoir is like the most broken knockout thing
I don't
we've ever
know
seen.
how it gets better than
Yeah.
Dusknoir.
I don't know how they push that effect any further. To
Search
be
your deck
honest.
for every single card you
Yeah.
want and put it into your hand.
Yeah. Team Rocket's Kangaskhan. This card looks like bulk, but I want to just like give it a bit of a moment because it is a way to unconditionally, well, not to attack for a meaningful amount of damage without discarding energy in the Rocket's deck. For 2 energy, flip 4 coins, 30 for each heads.
That's broken.
I mean, it's not broken, but like going second, if you start this, you just attach double energy. It could hit a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, it's like, it kills a body.
Yeah, I don't think you're never playing that card for this. And then for it does 120 for 3 colors. If you play a supporter with Team Rockets as its name during your turn, this tech does 100 more. I don't think this card. I don't think you would ever consider playing this card if there wasn't a Team Rockets Gust effect. But the fact that this can hit 220 for
Gust.
effectively 2 attachments, you can kill Fezes really easy with this while maintaining a pretty powerful Pokemon.
And with like Spite Ops, E-Switch plus a special energy, it's really good.
Yeah, it has 230 HP, so it's decently tanky. Nowhere near the 280 that Mewtwo is. But I think like the problem with Mewtwo you're going to run into maybe sometimes is that you have to discard energy from your board and your board state is weak. This kind of reminds me of having like
This is also good artwork.
yeah, it's pretty cool. This card is very conditionally doing damage, but 220 for 2 effective attachments. You can power it up in 1 turn with E-Switch attach of the double energy. I do think this maybe could be a reasonable one of in the Rockets decks.
I agree. I think it's pretty good. This next card is really bad. Team Rocket's Hypnosis Device. If the Team Rocket Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an opponent's attack, the attacking Pokemon is now asleep.
Yes.
But the bad part about that is they now get 2 flips to get out of sleep. So now they have a 25% chance of still being asleep, and you're playing cards for that.
Yeah, because they're sleeping going back into your turn. You're not like sleeping them and then passing essentially. So yeah, they're basically very, very unlikely to remain asleep. Maybe if you had like an effect that like did
Made
more
it so that
damage.
they had to flip twice.
Yeah, maybe if like Glenwood Tangle or whatever
Not Glimmer Tangle.
was the effect.
There
Was a stadium that made them flip twice for.
It was Marie plus Slum something.
I don't know. There was a stadium that made things
it
flip
was
twice.
Sleepy Vika. I remember that.
Yeah, but the Hypnosis Device is
I love
mid.
Sleepy Vika. That was so fun.
Real.
Sleepy Vika is like
So skinny.
Sleepy Vika is such a sick name too.
Real.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just not very good. I mean, maybe with an effect that makes it so that they have to flip 2 heads, it's like decently playable.
Yeah, I wish they didn't make this have been Rocket's Pokemon because it was totally unplayable garbage if it could go on anything.
Well, no, yeah, maybe.
But that's all the Team Rockets cards.
that's
That's
everything.
all we had to talk about. I feel like we actually did like a very in-depth analysis of some of these. What are your favorite cards from this drop, Lucas?
Okay, favorite cards, Psyduck. I really like Psyduck. I really, really like Psyduck. I like the one that prevents colorless abilities.
So the Team
the
Rockets
Watchtower.
Yeah, or this one right here.
Spite Ops is a fun card. I like Spite Ops. I mean, what else is there? I mean, what else? Like, I'm just kind of forgetting a little bit.
Well, then it's not your favorite if you have to think that hard for it.
Yeah.
If there's a Pokemon like stuck out to you that you're like, wow, I really like this. I want to play this.
I like
What would it be?
Chingling. Chingling's kind of cool. I like the Crobat line. But yeah, you can kind of see my play style. Arbok's like, meh. You can kind of see my play style just from watching and just from me like saying that. You know, I like the Mimikyu as well. I like counter effects, and a lot of those are counters, and like they are comeback effects. This line is also kind of funny, but I don't really like the Gorbis line. I just think it's kind of fun.
You were like the biggest stand there for like 5 minutes. You're like, this deck's broken.
It's kind of fun. I think it could be good. But yeah, I think okay. So my favorites are the Watchtower, the Psyduck, the Spite Ops, those are my top 3.
Okay. I think my top 3 for this, I really enjoy that. I like the supporter that says search for 3 Pokemon. If you can play it, you can go first. I honestly think if they just printed that as like an effect with not Team Rocket's Pokemon only, that'd be really sick. I'd really love to see that. I don't know like what the functionality of having like Puffin plus like Bridget in the format would be.
I didn't have that.
But I think this is just, I really like when formats require you to use a lot of supporters because it just inherently slows down the game because you're
You
playing.
want more time to play supporters.
Yeah, so I really enjoy supporter-centric formats. I'm glad that we're kind of moving towards one right now. The fact that we're seeing like Jock and like Brock Scouting as setup supporters, I really enjoy.
Evolution Incense was like the downfall of the game.
True, that Evolution Instance is way too good. But I do really enjoy this card. I would really be happy to see how good this would be if we could just remove the Team Rockets part. But I will be really enjoying this in Team Rockets decks.
What other stuff was your favorite?
I really like, where did it go?
Do you remember what you're thinking about?
It was near the Mewtwo. I don't know. There was a card in here that.
Wobbuffet.
Yeah, I like the Wobbuffet. I think that's a cool way for like the Team Rockets deck to kind of get on an edge, because as is, I think the Team Rockets deck is just kind of like a mid beats deck pile. Like you can't really justify this over something like Raging Bolt, because like the difference between 240 and 280 isn't super big in this current format. Like the only things that really care about the 280 number are going to be this, and then like something like Goldango, because you're adding an extra energy. Even something like Raging Bolt wouldn't care.
Or,
the
like
difference
Poison
between-
Arch can't get there. Well, no, they can.
Yeah, like the 280 is definitely obviously better than 240. I don't think that this deck would be fine, like good enough as just like a straight beat stick deck, because there's other better beat stick decks. But I think the Wobbuffet kind of gives it a cooler angle.
Yeah, Wobbuffet's like really cool.
Yeah, but I my biggest
What's
card.
your third favorite
My
card?
third favorite card? I think I really like Titan just because I'm a really big Primargon fan, but I know this card sucks.
I love being a Primal Fall.
Yeah. And also the Rotoms are really
Oh,
sick.
Articuno. Go down.
Oh, the Articuno is
Articuno's
actually
kind of fun.
This is a really cool card. This is one of the cards
It's probably not in my top 3, but it's a fun card.
I'd seen all of these cards, but somehow I hadn't seen this one yet. I must have like scrolled past it. I thought it was bulk or something, just like scrolling through things. But this is a really cool effect. This kind of reminds me of like the old Articuno that was in the activist bosses. Articuno seems to have like a theme over its effects of just like kind of being a little disruptive. So
Yeah, you can read my playstyle from that. I love those counter effects. I love those tech cards. Landon's kind of the same here. He likes consistency a lot more.
yeah,
And
I'm a
that's
really big consistency fan. If you ever see my deck list, they're just like jammed full of 4-ofs. Just if you, that's what you'll see that in my deck list.
I've definitely taken some of those deck building points from Landon.
I kind of transitioned from being like a really big tech guy in my early days when I was in seniors, like way over tech in my decks, and I've since like I basically cut every tech possible. I will like make my list as bare bones as I can, so I'm just doing the thing.
I do like doing the thing.
Doing the thing is what you need to do. If you're not doing the thing, doesn't matter how many fancy tech cards you play, because they'll be useless. Also, the last thing I want to say before I go, anyone that's watching this video,
It's like that Nirvana
Honey
song.
is cringe. I don't know how to delete it from my browser. I haven't tried that hard, but don't use Honey. It's a scam.
Yeah, you watched the video on it, right? Where they're
Yeah.
literally taking like commission money from
Yeah.
people.
No, Honey is a straight up scam. Don't use Honey. I got tricked by Mr. Beast like 5 years ago. And I haven't figured out nor cared enough to delete it because I've never once used it for anything, and it's just been sitting with a little logo on my screen. And got to spread awareness about how terrible Honey is, because
Honey is terrible. Okay, so basically, commissions work by
he's talking about affiliate links.
affiliate links work. Yeah, I don't know why I was using commissions. Affiliate links work by setting up this little bit of code on the website that you're going to that is able to give the money back to the
I feel like
person
people know how
that
affiliate
sent you
links
to
work.
this link. And Honey basically is saying they override the bit of code.
I'm gonna explain this better. I'll be honest.
That's it. Yeah, you got it.
So Honey is an online service that claims to scour the entire internet for coupon codes
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're
they don't even
purchasing
do that.
things. So what they will do theoretically is at the end of your purchase, you'll ask Honey to scan for things, and say like Lucas is trying to articulate is like. Creators will have an affiliate link where you like click on their thing. Lots of people do this in the Pokemon community. Like people do that with like their Dragon
Yeah,
Shield
like TCG
links,
player,
TCG player.
not TCG
When
player,
you buy
TCG
something
Evolutions.
after clicking on this person's affiliate link, that person that had the link gets a bit of a kickback because in theory, like the person only bought that product because the person advertised the product to that person. Like,
Yeah,
the
like,
affiliate
that makes
link.
sense. That's a good system.
But what Honey will do is they'll, even if you click through an affiliate link, at the end of the process, Honey will like basically kick the affiliate link off and put their
if
own
you
on.
click anything with about like from the Honey
Because
pop-up.
Honey will go through the internet looking for coupon codes and hijack that affiliate link, and then there's been a large history of people not getting their affiliate link, which is just fraud and theft.
Terrible. And also Honey, if we found out they don't actually scour the entire internet.
Yeah, no. There's better coupon codes than Honey can find. So Honey is built on false advertising. They've scammed a large amount of their own creators because the creators themselves were getting affiliate links from Honey, to my knowledge, and then Honey wasn't paying the affiliate link because Honey was hijacking the affiliate link from the person. It was a whole scam.
If you want to know how terrible Honey
it's a whole
is,
cluster.
Honey is so terrible to the point where when they can't find a coupon code, a pop-up still appears on your screen, and if you click OK on that pop-up to close it, they still steal the affiliate link money.
Yeah, Honey's brutal. So that's our little rant. Take down the capitalists, terrible people. PayPal owns Honey, and PayPal is sketchy too.
Oh,
But
real.
I hate using PayPal. They take so many fees. As a Canadian that uses e-transfer, I cannot comprehend the American brain of like PayPaling everybody and paying fees every time you transfer money.
Real.
I hate that. But anyways, there's our little rant at the end of the pod.
Unchecked capitalism for us. Okay, bye.
Free market's a scam. Ah! Oh, be awake.
I
Be
mean,
woke. We're woke on this channel.
Real.
Trigger the libs.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the Last
We're
Mile
triggered
podcast.
now, by the way. Whenever you say anything mean about anyone, we're the liberals that like see that and we're just go, Gah!
Real. But yeah, if you want to find more of us, we do this podcast every 2 weeks on this channel. We were doing some more content, but life got busy again. We had some hiccups with some of the back end stuff, so we're probably just going to be doing the podcast for the next little bit. I'm really busy with work, not really going to super large amounts of events. I've been really enjoying just going to League recently. That's been a big thing.
Sick, man. I love League.
I've just been playing like a different deck every week. Next week I'm gonna play Marzora Chitana. Last week I played Trapagos. Week before that, I played
I'm going to Commander this Friday.
yeah, my
You
little
do
brother's
other
been
things?
playing. He just got his Dragon Ball deck pretty much finished, so he's been playing
He's
Dragon
the same
Ball.
age as me, yet he's like way taller.
Real. So it's been good. I've been enjoying just taking it easy, chilling at home, going to work, going to night shift tonight. But it's been good. I've been kind of enjoying the domestic life a bit more. It's been kind of
It's
relaxing.
actually really nice.
Yeah, turns out not traveling twice a month is better for your mental health than traveling twice a month.
I also do like being able to do other things other than Pokemon.
Real.
I like having other activities.
Yeah, I do not despise the part of my life where Pokemon was identity, but it was very harmful to me to only be playing Pokemon, and that was like all I tied my entire self-worth to doing all
Yeah,
of
I'm
Pokemon.
still trying to break away from that.
Yeah, I have like a legitimate full-time professional career, so that definitely helps my way of doing that because I have to have like a completely separate life. But
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely for me. It's like I'm trying to separate myself from that. Pokemon is not who I am.
yeah, so
And I think that was a common misconception throughout my life because I've been playing the game since I was 6, so I
Yeah.
haven't actually really known much other than Pokemon.
it's very easy. Like I was saying, you get kind of not like indoctrinated by Pokemon, but it just becomes like this thing that's so monumental and gargantuan in your life you just can't imagine like not going to an event, and then like you'll not go to the event and be like, wait, that was fine.
That was fine.
I just didn't have to go to that.
It becomes super normal, like watching these content creators that actually like it's valid that they do this because that is how they make their livelihood.
Yeah.
That's how they make their money. That is literally how they survive is by playing Pokemon. The average person, that is not healthy. That is not the correct thing to do. And I think that it is very easy to assume if I want to be good at this game, I have to do that. You know?
I've won 2 regionals without barely testing for either of them, so
That was clean.
That was
That was clean.
don't gotta spend your whole life playing Pokemon.
Real.
Catch the
Spending your
dubs.
whole life playing Pokemon is terrible. But spending quite a bit of your time before events, that's different. You know?
Real.
But if everything is always Pokemon, it's just not worth it.
Real. Philosophical out here in the Last Mile. We appreciate you guys watching.
Subscribe for more philosophical, political
Honestly, at
content
the,
with
end of
aside
every,
Pokemon.
at the end of every episode, we do a little rant. So I'm pretty sure if you're a recent, like a somewhat frequent viewer, you're probably aware of these little like tangents we go on at the end of each episode once we're done talking.
I think I remember our record is like we were ranting for like 20 minutes after we were done talking.
Honestly, I watch the statistics. Some people do watch the whole thing. If you've made it to the end of the video, you're probably going to watch our rant because most people only watch for like the first 10 minutes of the podcast and click away. Honestly, I don't know what value you're really getting from that. Maybe you just get bored of watching our video.
Yeah,
but
it's just bored.
I
It's just
guess.
boredom. Like it's
watching
it's
the
fun.
first 10 minutes is probably like the least impactful part of like the information of the plot.
Well, yeah, we're not judging the people who do
No.
that though. Like, because then they're just kind of seeing our content and then they're
This
like,
is true. We appreciate any amount of viewership. If you
Yeah,
watch for
right.
10 seconds, it's going to tank our algorithm, but we appreciate you regardless.
If you're gonna watch us for 10 seconds, you may as well just not even do that. Like, screw you.
We get a
You
view,
suck.
but the algorithm does not like it when you watch for 10 seconds only. But anyways, let's cut off our rant. You can find more of us on our YouTube channel. We have our Twitter at the Lost Mine podcast on Twitter. Lucas has his own Twitter, Loldale.
Yeah, Loldale.
Yeah.
Not Loldale. Lucas Oldale.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
Loldale.
I should actually probably change it to Loldale. I like Loldale. I
Loldale's
think
funny.
Loldale's funny.
My Twitter is KatlerTCG. I am not going to plug my Metafy. I mean, I'm talking about it mostly because I haven't been accepting any new students. I don't plan on really doing any more coaching for the time being, at least until maybe I start testing for Worlds, because quite honestly, I don't feel like I know enough about the metagame to be coaching people, and I don't really have the time to be doing it either without like stretching myself. So
Yeah.
not something I'm super interested in right now. I will let you guys know when I'm back in the coaching game. I'm not like deleting my Metafy page or anything, but I am AFK on there for the time being. Lucas is saluting.
Wait, can you? I don't think they can see me. I'm too
We've,
tall.
we've given all our shout outs. That is the Lost Mine podcast. Thank you so much
You
for
can
listening.
follow my Twitch if you want. I never stream.
Real. Thank you so much for watching. You have a great rest of your day. Skippy toilet. Chicken jockey.
The Nether.